Hey there, this is Tim. I'm one of the partners of Paragon Partners. It's end of August 2021, and I'm going to go over my last 30 eBay sales. This was a power supply, and I normally stay away from these because you're competing against all the Chinese cheapies. But this is a particular one which went to a burglar alarm system, and I got this out of a huge office set lot. So I just put it all on there, and then I've been grinding away on the price until they sell. So I had to cut, you see, 30% off the price, but it did sell. This is an old amp that I bought, and I've been doing really good on these vintage electronics from, if they're, say, 20 to 30 years old, especially around the 80s and earlier. I've been doing well, and knowing I can pick these up at decent prices too. I believe I got this at the swap meet for $5. We sold these on consignment for one of my friends. So for us, it was free. Of course, I had to pay the consigner's fee. But you can see we sold this pair for $180. We'll go through a couple of these. Now, if you've been following me, you know my partner. He bought out a huge watch repair shop because it had a lot of precious metals in it. We've already made many times our money, and we've just been going through the last of it, and this is part of it. So we got a lot of these laser cells from a company. We've been selling these. It's been taking us a while to find out what resonates and what doesn't, but we sold these on consignment. Now here's some more of those watch parts that my partner put together, and one more watch face we put together. Yep, last one. Here's one more from that watch repair business. This one my partner put together. It's some old paper. Perhaps we shouldn't have broken this out a bit more. I've been watching other sellers, and they do pretty well on paper. So perhaps if we would have explained this a bit better, I think we could have done more on this. Now, God, I've had this calculator actually for 2 years. I remember I bought this at the swap meet for like $1, and you can see what I sold it for. Now, usually these HPs, they do well, except for they have to be the engineering calculator. If I had the 15C, that would be, then I'd have something. If you have it in the box, with the manual, then it's even more. But this is the financial calculator. It worked, but it's not as in demand. I paid $1 for it, and you can see I got 99 cents for it. And I had this. I remember I bought it over 2 years ago. It was laying around, and I finally put it up for auction. I remember this was at the swap meet, and I bought a lot. It was like about 5 Star Wars toys. You'll see the rest of them come up. And you can sell these. They're all beat up, so I sold it for parts. And it seems like as long as it's like about 20 years old, I can sell them from the 90s, 80s. And if I have some from the original 70s, which I had one, and that was for parts, and that one was for like $36. So the Star Wars, even if the toys are beat up, as long as they have some age and you sell it for parts, you can still do well on them. Oh, I remember I bought this. This is another one. I wasn't able to test it, and it was missing one of the trucks in the back. But I got it for like $3. So you can see I sold it for $38. It was one of the better locomotives. Now, I have a couple of buddies who are into this, and I should have asked them because, like any genre, there's specific items you want to work with. I don't know if it's pre-World War II, pre-China, and stuff like that. It can adjust its value. So perhaps if I want to ask them and gotten some more knowledge, I could have done better on this auction. This was another one that we sold on consignment. The screen worked, but it was cracked, so that's why they didn't get as much for it. Now, if you've been following me, I've been doing pretty good on the phones. And the phones are something I can pretty consistently pick up at the thrift stores too. And they don't go for big money, but they are consistent. I was watching another guy on eBay selling these, and what he does is with all the handsets, he replaces all the batteries, tests them, he shows them all working, and he sells them as refurbished, and he gets even more for it. So that had me thinking about possibilities on this. Did I ever cover this? I thought I did. Maybe it was another camera we sold. Now, these chargers, you think you would do well on them, but we usually only get between $15 and $20. We sold this for a friend, and didn't really take off. This is something I want to pick up again. I see these at the thrift store too for like around $5, and you know, when I put them on eBay, they're usually like around 15. By the time I pay for everything with the shipping, I'm not making any money on them. So I don't think charges is something I would really get into. Here's a business line telephone, and you can see we did all right on it. Now, I shouldn't have backed off the free shipping, though. My partner, he does all the coin work, so I had this coin from his collection. We put it up, and you can see what we got for it. I bought 6 Nike shoes for $100. I'm selling off the last of them. And I've never sold Nike before, but I see other people sell Nike and do pretty well. So I saw them, thought, might as well. Well, what I should have realized was that these were cleats, and cleats hardly do as well as, you know, the big shoes that you see go for more than $100. Here's a different set of Nikes. You can see what I had to sell them for, just over $25. So, you know, I made money because I was into them for like $17 each, but it didn't make a lot of money. This is out of that office lot that my partner got, and I've just been selling the remainder of it. We've already made our money back a couple of times, and this is part of the burglar alarm set. We sold this one on consignment. Oh, and let me show you a difference too. Some of our items, we've been working with another gal. She's a pro photographer. She used to do all the product imagery for Amazon. Okay, so here's what I do, and here's what she does. And when she does these, we get a higher price, so I guess that's the value of a pro photographer. Here's another one we sold on consignment for one of my friends. Now, if I were to retake this picture, we shouldn't have showed it powered on, because you always make more money when it's powered, and they can see it working. This one I got at the swap meet for a couple of bucks, and you wouldn't think these the old disc players, and before that you go to the 80s when they had the tape players. You know, they do sell. They're not big money, but at least they're very consistent in selling. This one, anything Bose sells well. We sold this on consignment. We accepted the best offer, like around 85, so we did pretty well on it. Oh, this was sold on consignment. One of my employees, I mentioned this before, he's a ham guy, and when he packed this up, he almost flipped out. He loved this so much. Yeah, this is one of the digital sets, and in fact, if he would have known about this, he would have bid on it. But we sold this one on consignment. Now this, I bought at the thrift store, and of course I'm always apprehensive at the thrift store if I'm buying beauty care products, especially fluids. But since this was new in box, that's why I got it. I looked it up on Amazon, and it sold for $19, so I put it a little under the Amazon price. Didn't sell. So you see, we knocked it down one notch, and it finally sold. And I got this for like $2. Made a little bit, but not a lot. This is another item we sold on consignment, a switch projector, which did pretty well. Here's a mic. Now, mics can be all over the place. Now, I don't know if it's from good or bad, but, you know, we sold it on consignment. We got 29, so we did all right. Now, I only sold these because I picked up a bunch from a supplier, a lot of appliance parts, and these were just leftovers. And so I said, well, I might as well put them up and then want them around. You can see they're free to me. I sold them for $8. The shipping costs like $3, so I made a little money, but not a lot. I think we're getting near the end. So these calculators, normally when you see these calculators, they're actually between like $5 and $10. The TIs, 70s and 80s. This is one of the better TIs, and I wish I knew more about this genre and know what I look for, because most of them don't do that well. This is one of the better ones, and that's where I got a better price out of it. But you can see even then it was $28. Anyway, that's it. You hear this every video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Bye.